There is a moment approaching you like a quiet breeze in the middle of a still night, a moment that has already begun unfolding behind the scenes while you remain focused on other things. Someone whose presence has faded into the background of your attention has spoken words about you that carried more emotion than anyone expected, and those words are still echoing through the hearts of those who heard them. What was revealed was not ordinary admiration, not a passing observation, but something deeper that had been held back for far longer than anyone realized. The energy surrounding this message feels gentle yet significant, like the soft glow of dawn appearing before the sun rises above the horizon. There are connections in life that continue speaking even during silence, and there are people who notice your light even when you are too busy carrying your responsibilities to recognize their gaze. One such soul has finally allowed their truth to leave the shelter of secrecy. For a long time, this person observed your journey from a distance, watching the way you handled disappointments without allowing bitterness to take root within you. They noticed the kindness you offered when no reward was waiting for you, the strength you carried when nobody applauded your efforts, and the quiet determination that continued moving forward even when life became heavy. What they saw created a feeling they could no longer ignore. Their confession did not arrive with dramatic fanfare or loud declarations meant to attract attention. Instead, it emerged naturally, like a river finally finding its path after being blocked for far too long. The sincerity within their words surprised everyone because it revealed a depth of emotion that had been hidden beneath calm appearances. Type Amen if this message resonates with your spirit. The remarkable part of this story is not simply what they said, but why they finally chose to say it. There comes a point when truth becomes too powerful to remain buried, and the heart begins demanding honesty from the soul. This person reached that moment and realized that remaining silent was becoming more difficult than speaking openly. As they shared their feelings, there was a softness in their voice that could not be mistaken for anything else. Every word carried the weight of careful observation, proving that their admiration was built over time rather than created by a fleeting emotion. They had watched your journey through seasons of uncertainty and seasons of growth. Many people see only the surface of another person's life, yet this individual paid attention to details others overlooked. They noticed your resilience after setbacks, your patience during delays, and your ability to remain compassionate even when circumstances gave you every reason to become hardened. Those qualities left a lasting impression upon their spirit. The confession revealed that your influence has been much greater than you imagined. While you were simply trying to navigate your own path, someone else was drawing inspiration from your example. Without realizing it, your presence became a source of encouragement during moments when they felt lost and uncertain. Comment 333 as a sign of positive energy entering your life. There is something deeply moving about discovering that your existence has touched another soul in meaningful ways. Too often, people underestimate the impact of their actions because they are focused on their own challenges. Yet every act of kindness, every moment of perseverance, and every display of integrity sends ripples outward into the lives of others. This person confessed that your authenticity was what captured their attention most. In a world where many feel pressured to wear masks and perform for approval, they saw someone who remained genuine. They saw a heart that stayed true to itself despite changing circumstances, and that authenticity became unforgettable. The spiritual energy surrounding this revelation feels calm and reassuring rather than overwhelming. Nothing here is demanding immediate action or creating unnecessary urgency. Instead, it is inviting awareness, helping you recognize that connections are forming and evolving in ways you may not fully see yet. Some souls enter our awareness quietly, standing at the edge of our attention while life continues moving forward. Their significance often becomes clear only after a moment of honesty reveals what has been happening beneath the surface. This confession appears to be one of those moments. As the truth emerged, those listening sensed that the words were coming from a place of sincerity rather than impulse. The speaker was not trying to impress anyone or gain attention. They simply reached a point where their heart could no longer remain silent about what it had been carrying. Type 1 Receive if you are open to positive connections. My beloved child, there are times when life places people along your path whose purpose is not immediately obvious. Some stand nearby quietly, learning from your example, drawing strength from your resilience, and appreciating qualities within you that you may overlook in yourself. Their presence becomes part of a larger story unfolding according to a rhythm deeper than human planning. The confession revealed admiration for your courage during difficult seasons. This person spoke about moments when they saw you continue moving forward despite obstacles that might have discouraged others. They described your determination as something inspiring, something that reminded them not to abandon their own hopes. What touched listeners most was the tenderness behind the words. There was no sense of possession, pressure, or expectation. Instead, there was gratitude, respect, and a sincere appreciation for the way your presence had influenced their perspective on life. Sometimes the most powerful acknowledgments come from people who have spent a long time observing in silence. Their understanding develops gradually, becoming richer with each passing season. By the time they finally speak, their words carry a depth that surprises everyone around them. The atmosphere surrounding this message feels like a calm evening sky filled with quiet stars. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is forced. Everything unfolds gently, allowing understanding to arrive at its own pace. Comment 777 to welcome peace and clarity. There is another layer to this confession that deserves attention. Beyond admiration, this person recognized a quality within you that many people spend years searching for in others. They saw emotional strength balanced with kindness, confidence balanced with humility, and wisdom balanced with compassion. They spoke about how your actions often reveal your character more clearly than your words. They noticed that when challenges appeared, you chose integrity over shortcuts. They noticed that when opportunities arose to act selfishly, you continued treating others with respect. These observations accumulated over time like drops of water filling a vessel. Eventually, the vessel became too full to contain everything it held. The confession was simply the moment when that fullness overflowed into spoken words. There is beauty in knowing that someone has seen your light even during periods when you doubted yourself. Human beings often become so familiar with their own struggles that they lose sight of their strengths. Yet others can sometimes see those strengths with remarkable clarity. The spiritual message here is not merely about another person's feelings. It is also about recognizing your own value. The confession serves as a reflection, showing you qualities that may have become invisible through familiarity. Type Amen and allow gratitude to fill your heart. Archangel Michael says that unseen connections are often forming even during periods when life feels quiet or uneventful. The soul communicates through energy, sincerity, and presence long before words are ever spoken aloud. What is genuine finds ways to reveal itself at the right moment. The person who spoke about you carried these feelings for longer than most people realized. They wrestled with uncertainty, wondering whether their admiration should remain private. Yet every time they considered staying silent, the truth within them grew stronger. Eventually, honesty became the natural choice. Not because they expected a particular outcome, but because authenticity felt more peaceful than hiding their feelings. Their confession became an act of emotional courage. There is something deeply spiritual about truth expressed without manipulation. Such honesty creates clarity rather than confusion, peace rather than pressure, and understanding rather than fear. That energy can be felt throughout this entire message. You may not have recognized the significance of this person because your attention was directed elsewhere. Life often demands focus on responsibilities, goals, and personal challenges. In the midst of those priorities, quieter connections can remain unnoticed. Comment 111 if you believe meaningful connections arrive at the right time. What they confessed about you went beyond admiration for accomplishments or outward success. They spoke about the way you make others feel. They described a presence that brings calm during chaos and encouragement during uncertainty. Many people remember achievements for a short time, but they remember emotional experiences for much longer. The kindness you offered, the understanding you shared, and the support you provided became lasting memories within this person's heart. Those moments mattered more than you knew. As listeners heard the confession, they began seeing you through the speaker's eyes. They heard stories of generosity that expected nothing in return, stories of patience displayed during difficult circumstances, and stories of perseverance that inspired hope. This is one reason the revelation carried such emotional weight. It was not built upon fantasy or idealization. It was built upon real experiences, genuine observations, and consistent examples of character. The message arriving today invites you to understand that your influence extends further than you realize. Seeds planted through kindness often bloom in places we never expect. Encouragement offered casually can become life-changing for someone else. Type 1 am blessed if you receive this message with gratitude. My beloved child, never underestimate the value of the light you carry. Even when you feel ordinary, even when you believe nobody notices your efforts, your spirit continues leaving impressions upon the hearts of others. The goodness within you travels farther than your eyes can see. The person who confessed their feelings described you as someone who remains compassionate without becoming weak and strong without becoming cold. Those qualities created a sense of trust that grew steadily over time. Trust became admiration, and admiration evolved into something deeper. There is a peaceful confidence surrounding this revelation. It does not seek to control your choices or direct your future. Instead, It simply reveals a truth that has existed quietly beneath the surface. Perhaps the most touching part of their confession was the gratitude they expressed. They were thankful not only for who you are, but for the inspiration they received from observing your journey. Your example encouraged them to believe in their own growth. Every soul longs to encounter authenticity in a world filled with distractions and performances. When authenticity appears, it leaves a lasting mark. That is what happened here. Comment 444 and welcome steady blessings into your path. Archangel Michael says that recognition often arrives after periods of invisibility. The qualities developed during hidden seasons eventually become visible to others, even when you are unaware of the impact they are making. What is cultivated sincerely cannot remain unnoticed forever. The confession reflects this principle beautifully. While you were focused on simply living your life, someone else was quietly witnessing the strength, grace, and resilience you carried. Their observations became a testimony to your influence. The energy surrounding this message feels like a gentle confirmation that your efforts matter. Every challenge you overcame contributed to the person you are becoming. Every lesson learned through difficulty shaped qualities that others now admire. There is no need to force understanding or rush toward conclusions. Some revelations are meant to be received slowly, allowing their meaning to unfold naturally over time. This appears to be one of those revelations. The person who spoke about you did so from a place of sincerity and emotional clarity. Their words carried respect, appreciation, and admiration. Those qualities created a confession that felt genuine rather than dramatic. As this message reaches its final moments, allow yourself to receive its deeper meaning. You are seen more clearly than you realize. You are appreciated more deeply than you know. The light you carry continues touching lives, even when you cannot witness every ripple it creates. And somewhere within the unfolding story of your life, a person you once overlooked has finally spoken a truth they could no longer keep hidden. Their confession became a reminder that genuine connections often grow quietly before revealing themselves, and sometimes the most powerful words are the ones that have waited the longest to be spoken. Type Amen if you receive this message with an open heart and peaceful spirit. The confession continued to spread through quiet conversations, not because anyone wished to create attention around it, but because the sincerity behind those words touched every person who heard them. There was something undeniably real about the way this individual spoke of you, as though they had spent countless moments collecting pieces of your story and carrying them carefully within their heart. Every detail they shared revealed a level of appreciation that had been growing silently for a very long time. They spoke about moments that you may have forgotten entirely. Small acts of kindness that seemed insignificant to you had become unforgettable memories to them. A simple gesture, a thoughtful word, a moment when you offered support without expecting recognition had remained alive in their spirit long after the moment passed. What makes this confession so meaningful is that it was never built upon an illusion. It was not based on an idealized image or a fantasy created from distance. Instead, it was formed through observation, through watching how you responded when life became complicated, and through witnessing the consistency of your character when nobody was paying attention. Many people reveal their best qualities when circumstances are easy, Yet
famous
this
business
person
district
noticed
here
something different
in this
about
country.
you. They saw that your
During the
true
lockdown,
strength appeared most clearly during difficult seasons, when challenges tested your patience and uncertainty tried to steal your peace. Even then, you continued moving forward with grace. The memory of those moments stayed with them. Every obstacle you faced became another reason for their respect to deepen. Every setback you overcame became another reminder of the resilience living within your spirit. Type Amen if your heart is open to this message. As time passed, this person found themselves reflecting on your influence more often than they expected. They would remember conversations, encounters, and observations that seemed ordinary at first but carried greater meaning later. Those memories became sources of encouragement during their own difficult days. Whenever they felt discouraged, they thought about your perseverance. Whenever they questioned their ability to continue, they remembered the determination they had seen within you. Your example quietly became a guiding light, helping them navigate challenges they rarely spoke about. The remarkable part is that you never intended to become such an important influence in their life. You were simply being yourself, living your journey one day at a time. Yet authenticity has a way of touching hearts more deeply than grand performances ever could. This is why their confession carried so much emotional weight. It revealed that your impact extended far beyond what you could see. The choices you made, the kindness you offered, and the strength you displayed had created ripples that continued moving outward long after the moments themselves had passed. There is a sacred beauty in discovering that your life has encouraged another soul. In a world that often measures value through visible achievements, this confession serves as a reminder that the deepest influence is often invisible. Comment 333 to welcome positive energy and clarity. My beloved child, there are seasons when you may feel unnoticed, as though your efforts disappear into silence without acknowledgement. Yet the universe has a way of revealing hidden truths at the perfect moment. The kindness you give, the patience you practice, and the love you share are never wasted. This person confessed that one of the qualities they admired most was your ability to remain compassionate despite disappointments. They had seen moments when life gave you reasons to become guarded, yet you continued choosing kindness. That choice left a profound impression upon their heart. They described your spirit as steady during storms. While others became overwhelmed by changing circumstances, you continued moving forward with quiet determination. That consistency created a sense of trust and admiration that grew stronger with each passing season. There was also a deep respect for your authenticity. They spoke about how refreshing it felt to encounter someone who did not constantly seek approval or validation. They saw a person willing to remain true to themselves, even when doing so was not the easiest path. Those observations became